Well, no mai, haere mai, welcome and good morning to all of those that have come to see us online on this little webinar about Waste Management Bylaw for 2022. So there's a few house rules of Zoom this morning, so please be patient, please be courteous, and as we use this technology in a public situation. So if you've got any questions throughout this process, please use the Q&A function to ask questions. And if you want to just leave a comment or just ask a question that we can answer at any stage throughout the meeting, just use the chat function. Once a question is answered by either myself or one of the panelists here, it'll move into the answered tab. And then this webinar is also being recorded so that other public at any time can watch this. So those are some of the rules. So obviously I'm Mayor Toby Adams and I've got Deputy Mayor Paul Milner and Councillor for the Waihi Ward, Duncan Smeaton. And we'll talk about what's on our agenda today and answer questions. And then you'll be able to watch it, or at any stage, you can come back to us via email, via phone call, and we'll answer those. So today's agenda is all about what is this bylaw, where have we come from, what it all looks like as far as waste operator licensing system and how to work, the construction waste, what that means for us, event waste, what is our timeline, how do you provide feedback to us, and some questions that you may have or some discussion at the end.
Okay, so what's this bylaw all about? Well, we're reviewing the Waste Management Bylaw, it used to be called the Solid Waste Bylaw. It contains rules for our curbside rubbish and recycling collection, and also the operation of our refuse transfer stations, or RTSs as we call them. It also includes some rules designed to protect public health and safety, the safety of our waste contractor, and we want to minimise the nuisance created by storage and spilling of waste. So we're proposing some new requirements in our draft bylaw, which we're going to explore right now.
So no time to waste. When we developed our waste management and minimisation plan, we identified some improvements to make our bylaw. We had gaps in our waste data from private waste operators and some regarding construction waste. So this makes it difficult for us to focus on our work and measure how we can do better as a district. We've also received feedback during our waste minimisation plan process that we should support and encourage event organisers to reduce waste.
So waste operator licensing overview. This is a new rule that we've included in this draft bylaw. We're proposing that all waste operators, all waste management facilities that collect and handle more than 30 tonnes of waste in a 12-month period will need to have a licence issued by the council. Waste operators may not collect waste or operate a management facility without a licence. A licence could be suspended or revoked if a licence holder fails to meet requirements in this bylaw, the law, or the conditions of their licence. And as part of their application for a licence, the applicant will need to provide a plan on how they're going to divert waste from landfill. It's a very important part. It's all about diverting waste from landfill.
So there's some licensing conditions, and some of those examples are that a licence could be granted for up to a term of 5 years. The licence holder must comply with any standards or policies the council has set for waste handling, such as timing of collections, spilling of waste from the licence holder's vehicle, and resource consent conditions. The licence holder must also provide data relating to waste they have handled, including the destination of each waste type. So whether it's recycling, whether it's recovery, whether it's treatment or just disposal, flat out disposal. And then we'll take all reasonable steps to keep commercially sensitive information confidential by grouping information for reporting issues. And that's just so we can make sure that where the waste, as Deputy Mayor mentioned, that all the waste is going into the right space.
So waste operator licensing, how's it going to work? Well, if the bylaw is approved, then from August 22, operators, that's this coming August, operators will be notified by letter or email outlining the steps required. The applicable waste operators will need a licence by the 1st of December this year. The application form will be made available on the council's website, and reporting templates will also be provided by the council. The application fee will be $350, that's for the first year, and then $220 annually thereafter. And this is to cover the initial processing of the licence, the general administration of the licensing system, annual monitoring and enforcement of the system.
So construction waste. It is believed that 50 to 60% of waste going to landfill is from the construction and demolition industry. Anecdotal reports from transfer station operators support this. So we're proposing that for building work with an estimated value above $500,000, a construction site waste management and minimisation plan must be provided. Our goal here is to educate and encourage the industry to think about where that waste is going.
So continuing on, we aim in the first instance to educate on the new requirements. So we wouldn't hold up a building consent if there was no waste plan, but we will ask for one. Brands has templates and they do a lot of research into these areas, and we'll share these links on our website and encourage people to use them. Within 3 months of the completion of a building work, the principal contractor must confirm how much waste was generated and where it was sent.
So events. So we're proposing that event waste minimisation plans be required from event organisers. Our aim is for this is to educate and support groups to think about waste at events and how to be dealt with. So ensuring the right products are used at the right time. An event means any organised temporary activity of a significant scale that is likely to create litter. If food vendors are involved in your event, it is likely to create litter. Example of events include sporting events, community days, markets, fundraising events, or just park-based fun runs, walks, Christmas parades, concerts, festivals, that type of event.
Okay, event waste plans, how will they work? Our district events coordinator will work with you to determine whether or not you need a plan. We'll have a plan template available, which will make it easier for you. Waste plans will need to include an estimate of the types and amounts of waste likely to be generated by the event and how it's going to be minimised. And we encourage using other community groups to assist with waste at your event. And we'll also have bins for events for organisers to use or hire. After event completion, the organiser must complete the council's event waste management report template outlining how well things went according to plan. Recurring events, such as Saturday morning sports or regular markets, can be covered by one waste plan with reports provided at a mutually agreed frequency.
So what is our timeline? So we need feedback. So you need to provide feedback from now until the 20th of June, 2022. On the 13th of July, we'll hear that feedback. On the 29th of July, we'll consider that feedback and the final plan. And then from July 29, we'll prepare and implement the bylaw. From 1 September, most of that bylaw will be in effect. And from the 1 December, the waste operator licensing will be in effect if it is approved.
So here's all our usual ways to provide feedback. Head to the website there and use our online form. It's very simple to fill in. You could email us info@hauraki-dc.govt.nz, or there's forms available at council offices and libraries, and we're really keen to hear from you.
So we want to hear from you. Have you got any burning questions you'd like to ask? Now's your chance. Do it online here now. Email us, as the Deputy Mayor mentioned, or phone us at any stage and we will answer those questions for you. We've got a few questions which are common questions which we've been getting by email as this went out live on Facebook a couple of days ago. So we'll run through a few of those, Paul.
So how would I know if I need a licence or not? Well, there's quite a simple way that we can do that. We've got a wonderful staff member here, Renee, and she's able to help people to work their way through that. But remember, it's for people that handle over 30 tonnes of waste in a year. So if you're only very small, it might not affect you. But if you're one of the larger operators in the district, you'll know who you are, and this will be important for you to know about.
Awesome. So why all the extra rules? We get asked this one all the time. Why all the extra rules? Other councils don't make us get a licence. Well, we're not unique here. So other councils close to us, Western Bay, Manawatu-Piako, do have this in place. And it's all about ensuring that we get better at delivering our waste system throughout New Zealand. So one, we've got a legal obligation, and two, we've got a very big moral obligation. So that's why we're going down this path. Duncan?
Okay, here's another question here. Why would we have to pay a fee every year to stay licensed as a waste operator? Do council just like collecting money off us? In actual fact, that's incorrect. The annual fee is required to cover the administration of the system. It takes time to request, follow up and coordinate data from all waste operators. Collect that information and report that information to the council. And that information too is very important to us at council, so we can follow and understand how we're going in terms of waste minimisation.
So another one we got is, what will we do if waste operators that don't apply for a licence or don't follow the rules? Well, it's pretty simple. When you don't follow the rules, you get in trouble. So one of those will be if a waste operator has a license and breaches it, we could amend, suspend or revoke that license. Operating without a license will be in breach of the bylaw if we install the bylaw on 1 December. And if they don't apply for a license and operate without one, they could be issued with a warning notice. And if no license is applied for, they could be liable up to a fine of $20,000.
So thinking a bit more about construction waste plans, how would we submit our waste plans? So council is going to have a clear process through the bylaw. And remember, the point is not to make it difficult or more expensive for buildings to happen, but it's about doing things in the right way. And in the time to come, it'll just become business as usual, and it'll be just one more of those things that you do. If you make it a habit, it's easy as.
So building is already so expensive. Aren't you just adding to the costs and making the housing issue worse? We don't believe so. So there's templates available for the industry. So they're not new, as we mentioned earlier, which make completing a waste plan quite simple. Separating waste on site could actually reduce the costs in the skip bins. So as a lot of building materials can be reused or recycled for free, we don't think it's going to add extra expense into it.
Okay, a question on event waste plans. Doing these plans, isn't it going to make it harder for me to run my event? And what support is the council going to give us to be able to do these waste plans? Well, we don't want to make this hard for you. Our aim is to, in fact, to get the whole community thinking about the waste we're generating. That's what we're after, educating everyone in our community about waste minimisation. And Lou Beer, our district events coordinator, is here to support current event organisers, and he can provide guidance on your waste planning. Lou can field any curly questions you might have, or our waste manager, Renee Wenzel, can also assist. Lou will be involved in the making of the templates so that we minimise the admin required by you as much as possible. We've discussed the potential of council having bin stations available for organisers to use for their events, which could also be colour-coded for different types of waste with signage available. There are also local community groups that may be able to assist you at your event. So how easy is that?
So as an event organiser, will I be responsible for food vendors at my event and the waste they generate? Essentially, yes, you will be. But we suggest having discussions with vendors to see what products they use and whether they have zero or low waste options available. And it could be as simple as a coffee cart vendor having the option for people to bring their own keep cups along and refill those rather than having one-time use throwaway cups. So it's that sort of thing, and the education that if we bring it to the fore, people can make informed choices and do the right thing.
Well, those are some of the common questions that we've had and we know that we'd get. But if there are any other questions that we haven't quite thought of, or you haven't felt that you've been provided an answer today in this webinar, please don't hesitate. Contact anyone at the council, any one of us on the panel, or any of your local councillors, and we'll get an answer to you as soon as we can. What I can say is we've got dedicated people working in this space in our council that are happy to help and make this process as simple as we possibly can. But all together, our main aim is to reduce waste going to landfill, and that's going to be better for everybody. Thanks again for coming on today, and look forward to seeing you at some of our other webinars that we've got coming up later today and throughout the week. But otherwise, have an enjoyable week. Cheers.